Hello everyone, this is Nick. You may notice from the sound of my voice that I am a little sick. But the good news is that if you're hearing my voice, if you're hearing my voice, I feel sorry for you. But if you are hearing my voice, it means, yes, I do in fact have internet access. I've actually had internet access for about 2 weeks now, but I haven't uploaded anything in the past 2 weeks because I'm a lazy ass. No, it has more to do with the fact that I've been busying myself with other things. But anyway, here is, an update video. Whoopity-doo! I'm uploading this because I'm sure 2 or 3 people out there are dying to know how I've been doing out here in Japan. And everyone else is dying to know when the hell I'm going to upload Resident Evil 3. I'll get around to it, don't worry. So, let me tell you about my month. My month! It's actually been more than a month, but whatever. So I left California on March 17th, in the afternoon. Got on the plane, flew for about 12 hours, and landed in Japan on the night of March 18th. Because, hey, 12-hour flight plus time zone difference. So I checked into my hotel room, and then I started training the next day. Actually, the first day of training on March 19th really wasn't that intense because it was mostly waiting for everyone to get signed in and, arrive and get signed in. I ended up arriving a day early because the only flight I could get into Japan that would land on March 19th would get me in at like 9 p.m. and I had no intention of getting in at 9 p.m., being jet lagged, and then having to start training the following day. So I decided, okay, fine, I'll land a day early. But anyway, yes, training was from, I'll say March 19th, even though it really started March 20th, until March 24th. And it was very grueling. The big problem was that the air in the hotel room was so dry, so I had a sore throat the whole time, and I really felt like crap after that first day. But, yeah, that first day, one of the parts of the training involved people getting called on and doing presentations we were supposed to have practiced. I was a little screwed in that department because I hadn't prepared adequately, but whatever. One of the trainers basically tore into everyone who presented and just intimidated the hell out of everyone in the room. And then he asked for feedback on how he did. He had called on a few people and they said, "Oh yeah, it was really scary." And then I raised my hand. I said, "Yeah, that was really scary. I want to try." He grinned and said, "Well, less talk, more action." No, he didn't say that, and that sounded retarded. But he basically told me, okay, back it up with more than words. So I strutted up, did my presentation. He stopped me in the middle of it and said, "Okay, yes, that's the attitude I'm looking for." And said, "Let me shake your hand." So I was like, oh yeah, like a boss. My bluff check succeeded. I guess I'd learned enough from watching him tear into the other people to figure out how to do it right, or at least to his satisfaction. So that was pretty satisfying. And during training, not during training, but on one of the nights after training concluded for that night, I went and bought an electrical adapter because I needed to be able to charge my laptop. My laptop's power supply has a 3-prong plug. One of the prongs is ground. And the problem with that is most of the outlets here are 2-prong. So I couldn't plug it in. Someone suggested cutting off the ground prong, and I laughed and said, "Ha ha ha ha, no." I had to buy the adapter, but the problem was I couldn't fit the plug into the adapter. I tried, and I didn't want to force it because I didn't want to break it or get it stuck permanently in there. So I thought, oh, well, crap. That does me no good. So I had that thing for about 2 days before I asked someone, and he said, "Oh yeah, let me do that." Forced it in, and I nearly had a heart attack. But it turns out you do have to force it because the adapter has some internal clamps that are rather tight, but yeah, it holds the plug in there and it works just fine. So basically you have to do a reverse King Arthur to get the thing in there, and then you have to do a King Arthur to get it back out again. But at least it worked, and I was able to charge my laptop. And so yeah, March 19th, 20th through the 24th was training, and yeah, I kind of got cabin fever in that hotel because we never really had a chance to leave or go anywhere or do anything because there wasn't much of anything to do around that hotel. And then on March 25th, we had to get on a bus and travel to our branch location. March 25th, everyone traveled everywhere. So my group traveled on a bus to another city for more training. And that whole thing was a harrowing experience because I had to bring so many bags over. I had several luggage carriers because all of them were small. I didn't have any big ones, so I had to carry a lot of them. And shipping those around was a nightmare, carrying them on the plane, carrying them around with me. It was just awful. One of them ripped apart, the zipper came off its tracks. That was very unfortunate. So I had to duct tape that thing together and ship that ahead to my apartment, even though I wouldn't be moving into the apartment for nearly a week. It was all a very difficult experience. So March 25th, I got in a bus and traveled to the next location. March 26th through 28th, there was more training. And I got a hell of a headache, and it was really awful. But training eventually concluded, and I moved into my apartment on March 29th. And that was a really busy day. I had to take care of all sorts of registration and setting up utilities and all of that. It was really fortunate that the company had someone to help with all of that because I do speak a little Japanese, but it's definitely not enough to set up my electric utilities or anything like that. So, yeah. Oh, jeez, I'm feeling like crap. So, that was a really busy day, but I got a lot done and I got settled into my apartment. It's a pretty nice apartment. It's small, but that's to be expected. It is rather nice. The only real problems I have with the apartment are that the bathroom is kind of weird. The bathroom is broken up into 2 rooms. There's one room with just a toilet and then an overhead shelf for toilet paper and stuff. And then on the other side of the hall, there's a room with a tub and a shower and a sink. The neat thing about the toilet is when you flush it, it fills the tank by having a little faucet over the tank. You do water thing, me good English, me English teacher. The faucet dispenses water into the tank, and you can use that to wash your hands, but it's cold water and there's no soap, so I don't use it. I go across the hall and use the actual sink that has warm running water and soap. It's unfortunate that there's no medicine cabinet in the bathroom because I need a place to store things like my toothbrush and my comb. There's no shelf or anything in the bathroom. There's no room for anything like that. So if I need to brush my teeth, I have to go into the toilet room and grab my toothbrush off the shelf, walk it over, and brush my teeth in the other room. It's kind of annoying. The other weird thing about the bathroom is that the shower head doesn't spray into the tub. The shower head is not mounted over the tub. It's mounted outside of the tub. So you go into that room, you close the door, you turn on the shower, water sprays everywhere, and you feel like you're making a huge mess. At least I do. There is a floor drain, but I still feel like I'm making a huge mess because I'm taking a shower and I'm not standing in the tub. So that just weirds me out. But I think I'm starting to get used to it. So my complaint about the bathroom is there's no room to put anything. And the kitchen, it's even worse in terms of there being no room to put anything. There's the stove and the sink. That's it. There's no counter space whatsoever. And that makes it really annoying if I want to prepare something to eat, because I don't have room to prepare something to eat. I'm going to need to buy a folding tray and a cutting board or something to, like, and then take that into my bedroom and prepare food in there, because there's certainly not room to do it in the kitchen. So, yeah, my main complaints about the place are that there's no damned room in the kitchen or the bathroom. Everything else is brilliant. The place has a washing machine, but no dryer. That's really no big deal. I can just hang my clothes outside the window to dry. So, I can handle that. But, yeah. And what else? So, the next couple of days after I moved into my apartment, I spent taking care of other things. I got a phone on March 31st, an iPhone. I know. I wanted to get an Android or some kind of non-iPhone smartphone, but those all turned out to be more expensive, so I thought, okay, well, if the iPhone's cheaper, then I'll go with that. One of the reasons I wanted an Android or something was because I thought those would be cheaper. I thought, oh, the iPhone's going to be super expensive because it has the Apple logo on it. But no, the Androids were more expensive. So go figure. So now I'm one of those bastards with a smartphone. Well, I wouldn't say happy with my dumb phone that couldn't do anything but make calls, but I'm pleased to have the smartphone now because the GPS and the GPS is damned useful. Other features are damned useful. It's quite nice. And let's see. On April 1st, I got a bicycle because I need a bicycle to get around. Most of the schools at which I teach are within walking distance, but having the bike is just nice. And to celebrate having that bike, a few days later I decided to do a long distance bike ride, even though I'm quite out of shape and haven't ridden a bike in years. I rode my bike to a city that's about 25 kilometers away. That's about what? It's 25, 26, 27 kilometers away, so that's about 17, 18 miles. I rode my bike there and back. And yeah, that was quite tiring. I stopped for lunch along the way, but still it was tiring. The hardest part of that bike ride was my bicycle seat. It's just a damned uncomfortable seat. My ass hurt like hell for the whole ride home. It was okay going out, but after that it was just unbearable. So the next day I bought a cushion for the bike seat because yeah, it was just awful. Let's see. So yeah, I rode 17, 18 miles out and then back, so over about 35 miles total. So that was pretty nice. That was fun. It really was fun. And I didn't do much for the next week. My first day of work was on Tuesday, April 10th. The day before that, Monday, I'd just gone around to take care of a few more things and meet the members of the Board of Education, stuff like that. And yeah, my first week of teaching went pretty well. I was pretty happy with it. It was a lot easier than the training. That's for sure. And a lot of the stuff in the training just goes right out the window. Because in the actual classroom, the conditions in the actual classroom are so different from the conditions in training. And let's see. That Friday, I rode my bike in a different direction to a different city, and there was a hill on the way up there, and it was hell getting up that hill. I was exhausted by the time I got up the hill, but I got up there. That's one of the reasons I was really glad I spent the extra money to get a mountain bike rather than one of those single speed bikes with a basket on it. I saw those and I thought, no, 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 no. I am not getting a single speed bike. You can kiss my ass. I spent a little more money to get a mountain bike so I could shift gears and go up hills. It's a rather flat city, but having the extra gears is nice if you do encounter a hill or if there's wind. That's one of the things I didn't count on. If there's wind, it's nice to be able to shift to a lower gear and not die from exhaustion. So I went to another city on Friday, April 13th. Rode around, had fun, and then I saw a curry shop and went in and had curry. Maximum spicy. That was damn good. And yeah. Oh wait, no, that was April 10th. Okay. Oh god, I'm like derping hard here. So, the next day, April 14th, I finally got my glorious, glorious internet. And it was amazing. On April 17th, that's a Tuesday, I started taking Japanese classes at the local community center. So, hooray for that. On April 20th, another Friday, I rode back to the second city for more curry. Excuse me. And found some fun hills to ride down on my bike. That was quite fun. Getting up that hill was a lot easier the second time, let me tell ya. So I guess that means I'm getting into shape. I don't know. Probably not. And the next day, Saturday, I ended up working, but I got off the following Monday in compensation. So that was nice. I was sick that weekend too. That's last weekend. And here I am sick again. Let's see. I'm derping so hard. I'm sorry, guys. I'm also sorry this video's gone on for 17 and a half minutes. So, on April 28th, Saturday, I ended up going to Tokyo to see my friend. A bunch of the other teachers here have made trips to Tokyo pretty much every weekend, and I've said, no, 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 I don't want to go. I don't want to spend money to go to Tokyo. Mainly because I can hang out with the other teachers here for free without going to... I don't need to spend money to see them here, so I'm not going to spend money to go to Tokyo. But if it's to see my friend who's in town for the weekend, then yeah, that's worth it for me. And we had a lot of fun. We went to... He showed me around. He's been in Tokyo lots of times before for his own work. And he showed me around. We went to Shinjuku, we went to Akihabara, we went to Harajuku, and we went to Shibuya. And we had a damn fine time. He bought me a taiyaki. And taiyaki was damn good. It's this pastry with this sweet red bean paste inside. The pastry itself, it had a very waffle-like texture, so it was really nice, and the red bean paste filling was sweet and was really nice and warm, and it was really good. And we went around, we looked at a bunch of different shops. We looked for CDs and video games and electronics. It was a lot of fun. I ended up buying some video games. I'm really happy to say that I was able to find a copy of the second Edgeworth game from the Ace Attorney series, because Capcom hates Americans, and that game isn't in America. There's no English language release for that one, unless someone's done a English ROM hack of it or something. But I have the actual game, so that makes me happy. And I really didn't intend to spend money on things, but I thought, oh, well, sure, whatever. I'm trying to be super careful with my money because I don't even get my first paycheck for another couple of weeks. because the way it works, we get paid at the end of the next month. If that makes sense. We work 1 month, we get paid at the end of the following month. So the first 2 months here are just going to be craptastic because no money. The company advised us to bring 500,000 yen when we came over, and that's like $6,000. I didn't have nearly that much. I brought over just under 200,000 yen when I came over here, and mainly that's because I got shafted on the exchange rate, because the company told me to get traveler's checks. I followed their instructions and got traveler's checks. The company said, "Oh yeah, like tell the bank to give you traveler's checks in yen. They're legally required to do so." When I went to the bank, they said, "Oh, herp derp, we can't give you traveler's checks in yen, only in dollars." So I thought, well, okay, fine. I'm gonna be screwed in this. And when I exchanged the traveler's checks, I got a much lower rate for exchanging them. And I thought, well, crap, why didn't I just exchange everything straight into yen at the bank, because I got a better exchange rate there. So, yeah, lesson learned, don't do traveler's checks. Just convert straight to yen from the bank, and you'll be less screwed. That's the kind of mistake. That's the kind of thing. Someone can tell you that, but you don't really learn it until you make the mistake yourself. Unfortunately, no one told me that I'd get screwed on those traveler's checks. The company was the one who told me, "Oh yeah, I'd get traveler's checks." And even though the violent crime rate and theft rate in Japan are really low, I didn't feel comfortable bringing any large amount of money with me. So, yeah, I brought over less than 200,000 yen, less than half of what they asked me to bring. And I was able to make that last quite a while, especially considering most of my initial costs were going to be the big things, like the deposit on my rent, buying a phone, buying a bike, big purchases like that I don't have to make every month. So I'm happy that I was able to spend less than all of my money on that. I eventually did have to get money out of my American bank account, and that was a whole mess, because I thought I'd have to do some complicated procedure and transfer through a secondary bank and do some crap. But no, it turns out I can just use my ATM card. I don't know why anyone didn't tell me that sooner. But yes, that was the simplest solution. I'm sure I got quite a fee for doing that, but that's literally the price you pay to be able to have money and survive. So, yeah. And what else? I don't know. I've already gone on for too long. I'm sure someone's already stopped watching the video right now. Oh, I feel like hell. So, yeah, back to the thing about me bitching about the kitchen. There's not a lot of room in there, and as far as preparing food, I prepare really simple things because I don't have a lot of cookware or a lot of ingredients. There are not a lot of ingredients I know what to do with, except make a simple stir fry or something. Just, oh, okay, little oil in the pan, throw in some meat and vegetables, push that around with a spatula until it's done. And that's really not very satisfying. Back in the US, when I had access to a kitchen with an actual counter and more pots and pans and ingredients I knew what to do with, yeah, then I could make a better meal. But here I'm kind of out of my depth. So I've been eating a lot of the little meals bought from the convenience stores, and those are actually pretty good. And they're not priced outrageously. It seems like it's almost the same price to buy some meat from the grocery store, enough meat for one meal, and stir fry that with some vegetables. Ends up being about the same price as just buying a boxed meal from a convenience store. And with a convenience store meal, you get more things. So, yeah. In the long run, it would probably be cheaper to buy ingredients and buy proper pots and pans, but where the hell am I gonna put it? So, yeah, that's just. I'm sorry. I'm out of it. I'm. Me feel bad. Okay. Oh my God, this thing's gone on for 25 minutes. That's just wrong. Okay. Okay. Well, let's see. Yeah, today is. I didn't say this at the beginning of the video, but today is April 30th, and it's a Monday, and it's a holiday. So that makes me happy. This is gonna be a short week because it's Golden Week, and that's a holiday over here in Japan. So that's quite nice. I'm glad that there's a holiday. I have to work only 2 days this week, which is pretty sweet. Okay, this video has gone on for longer than it should have gone on, and I'm going to end it by saying, well, I'm going to get to work on Resident Evil 3 because it's a holiday and I have no excuse not to unless I end up going on some awesome adventure. So I will see you all soon. I hope. Okay. Talk to you. Well, I don't know. I'll do another update video later on because. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just out of it today. I'm gonna end this before I end up embarrassing myself further. Later, everyone.